All right, guys, not much of an intro this week. I just kind of started and jumped into it. But this is week 3 of the Every Bit Counts challenge. Okay, guys, we got this roast yesterday, and I want to try to make something I've never made before. I want to try to make beef jerky. So I think I might just use half of it. Not quite sure yet. We'll get it open, we'll trim some of this fat, and then we'll see where we end up. Okay, so I think I am only going to use half of it, and the rest of the meat I'm going to chunk up for another project. So I want to go against the grain. So I want to cut this way, and there's some fat and some uneven portions. So I'm just going to cut this whole end off, and we'll use that for our other project. I'm wondering if maybe my knife is not so sharp. Now, I think we want this pretty much as thin as we can get it. So I'm gonna do my best here to get some slices. And probably will get as far as I get tired of trying to slice this meat. I already have my marinade here. I am using a recipe from Food Wishes. If you haven't watched any of those YouTube videos, definitely go give those a watch. We love watching Chef Jean. So I'm just gonna put my slices directly into the marinade and get them marinating. And I'm just gonna be here slicing for probably the foreseeable future. Might be easier to trim this fat first. Okay, we've got our marinade going on here. I'm gonna cover it in plastic wrap, and it needs to rest for at least 3 hours in the fridge. And then the rest of the roast I just chopped up into chunks, and we're gonna do something with that later. So I'm just gonna get my meat covered and in the fridge, and I'll see you back here in 3 hours. All right, guys, we've got our jerky here. This is the next day. I think it turned out pretty good, but I think I did 2 things wrong. The first is I didn't have like a proper grate cooling rack to cook or to dry out the meat. I had like, I think it's called like a crisper pan. It has holes in it, but it's not as open as this. So I'm gonna try that today. And the other thing that I think I did wrong is I didn't pat the meat dry first, which I totally forgot about. So today I'm gonna pat this dry, lay it out on this rack, and we will start the 3-hour process again. I think also you're supposed to open the door every so often. I did it every half hour last night, but I think today I'll do every 45 minutes. I just felt like it didn't dry out as much as I was expecting. Like, I can still feel some moisture in this. It's delicious, but I think with those changes, we'll have a better result. This should last like a week or 2 in the fridge, or probably a lot of it I will package up into individual, or not individual, but like little packages for the freezer, so that we can have it, you know, longer term than just a couple weeks. I will say too, I think this, if you guys like beef jerky, I think this is a super economical way. This is probably 2 $8 packages, or 2 $8 packages worth of jerky in this container, which is only about half of the meat that I chopped up, which is only half of the $16 roast. So this total is like $8 worth of meat, and we're probably going to end up with 3 or 4 packages worth of jerky. So you know, for a third or a quarter of the price, it's not a ton of work. And yeah, this might be how our family enjoys jerky from now on. Okay, this is what it looks like going into the oven. I had a lot more smaller pieces at the bottom of the bowl. As I was trying to cut slices, sometimes I would, you know, end up with smaller pieces, but I think we've got them all stabilized and laid out, and I dried them off this time, which I think makes a huge difference. Already they look drier than they did in the first half hour. They haven't even gone in yet. So I think this is gonna work a little better and go a little smoother. And I'm gonna set my timer for 45 minutes, and then we'll open the door and let some moisture out. All right, I'm finally getting around to the peppers now too. They've mostly all ripened. A couple are not quite there, but they're close enough. We're gonna get these chopped up into slices and on a cookie sheet to go in the freezer to freeze. All right, guys, we're halfway through. It's been in for 90 minutes. I think it's looking a lot better, a lot earlier than the stuff I made last night. There's a lot less dripping. I think it's key to pat it dry before you stick it in the oven. Final product, guys. It's very beef jerky-y. I think this is a better result than the first round. And it's super tasty. Guys, we are making pot roast in a jar. This is from the all-new Ball Canning book. I'm getting my wine mixture ready here. I have some carrots and potatoes peeled there. I've got my broth heating here. Got the canner out, gonna start getting it warm now. My jars are in the dishwasher, and the meat is still in the fridge. Also, we went to the garden and we're swimming in produce again, so gotta deal with that too. But first, pot roast in a jar. So I didn't get to finish showing you, but we did get our jars canned last night. These 2 are beef, just beef with the red wine and beef broth, topping them up. And these 6 are pot roast in a jar. There's 2 more pot roast in a jar that I had to put in the fridge. These wide mouth jars, I can only fit 8 of those in my canner. So today I think I'm gonna try something else too, because I have those 2 cans that I have to can up today. I think I will also try bourbon chicken. I was like, what is it called? What's that stuff called? It's a recipe I've been wanting to try. I haven't tried it yet. I have some chicken down in the freezer I'm gonna have to thaw. And I want to get, excuse me, about 2 cans worth. So I think that'll be around 2 pounds. I think you can get about a pound of meat per pint, but anyway, we're gonna work on that later today. I'm a little tired. We went to a barn dance last night. I haven't been to a barn dance in like 20 years. Hits differently this day and age than it does, you know, when you're 20. So it might be a slow start to the day. All right, I've got those 2 cans of the pot roast in the canner, and we are making some bourbon chicken to go in the canner as well. So I thawed some chicken. It was too much to fill 2 jars and not quite enough to fill 3 jars, but that's okay. We're gonna just fill these with extra liquid and sauce and get those in the canner. The other thing I decided to do today is I found what I thought was another like chicken carcass, and I was like, well, if I'm running the pressure canner, I might as well make more broth. However, once it all thawed and the broth got going here and I started stirring it around, there's actually quite a bit of meat in there. So I think it's turkey. I'm gonna chop up, I'll strain it, pick the meat off, chop up the meat, add it back to the broth along with some more vegetables and barley or rice, and I will just freeze it because we like our turkey soup with either rice or barley. All right, it's the next day, guys. Yesterday was kind of a slow, lazy recovery day for Jarrett and I, so I didn't get a ton done, but I did finish canning those 3 cans of bourbon chicken and the 2 cans that we had that wouldn't fit in the canner from the day before. So it's nice to have those done. I just stuck my stock and everything in the fridge overnight because I didn't want to deal with it last night. But I'm still going to make soup with it. I'm just going to warm it up here. I find it's easier to pick the meat when everything's warm. And then I'll get some soup going. The other thing I want to get done today is I've picked out, these are all the ripe tomatoes that need to be washed and frozen. These are all still not quite ripe. I'm letting these peppers continue to ripen. These ones need chopped up, and we're gonna do something hopefully with the jalapenos. Also, do you guys have zucchini ideas? I'm looking for recipe ideas. I'm over the zucchini bread. And, you know, we've been sauteing it and a lot of stuff, but, you know, I'm kind of over zucchini season. There's been a lot of them this year. That's not a bad thing, but anyway, looking for suggestions. I didn't get it filmed, but I made 3 loaves of zucchini bread, trying to get through all the zucchini sitting on the counter. Not quite there. And the blackberry harvests are continuing as well. All right, friends, I am gonna cut this week's video off there. I did get the ripe red peppers chopped up. I haven't got to the tomatoes yet. We haven't done anything with those jalapenos yet, other than I did make some jalapeno poppers. I haven't gotten through all of them yet. But anyway, I will turn you around and show you what we got done this week. All right, guys, this is what we have left of everything we did this week. And by that, I mean there is no beef jerky left. And this is all that's left of the zucchini bread that I made. I had 5 little packs of 2 slices each. There are 3 left that I froze for Jarrett to take for lunches and breakfasts and things like that. And I ended up making 3 loaves. I gave 2 of them away. 1 went to my brother, 1 went to my mom and dad. These are the blackberries we got this week. I think my brother picked about this many yesterday. I haven't picked them for a couple days. I'm kind of over it, but now that I've taken a couple days off, I'll probably start again. These are the ripe peppers we have frozen so far. They're just kind of starting. We'll have lots more of those. These are the jalapeno poppers that I have frozen so far. There's 2 servings per bag here. We have 2 pints of just beef in jars. We have 8 jars of pot roast in a jar. These will be great lunches. We have 3 pints of that bourbon chicken. And I managed to get 5 servings. These are 2 cups each, or just under 2 cups of turkey soup. So not too shabby. Didn't get everything done on the to-do list. We'll add it to next week's video. So I hope you enjoyed that video. I know we didn't get quite everything done that I had planned to get done, as typically happens around here. So whatever didn't get done this week, we'll move on to next week's list and look forward to more blackberries and more peppers and more frozen tomatoes. And don't forget the zucchini. So we'll see you next week.